Okay, this is a follow-up video to the watch list we sent you last night. We said we would follow up with a video to show you if we traded any of the calls and how we traded them. Kind of an after-the-fact teaching tool about what goes on in our live trading chat room. If you remember from the watch list last night, the video we made, we talked about HDY, ugly daily chart. I'll take today's candle out of it. You know, it looks like it's just heading to oblivion, but I said it was near support. It had a secondary offering at $3, and it's just been getting killed ever since. Even though this is ugly, this landed on long watch, where a lot of people would look at this and think, no, this is an obvious short, ugly daily chart. Again, nothing pretty about it, and if you add in today's candle, it still doesn't look like much, but we got almost 10% out of this. So watch this. It did everything I was hoping it would do. This is what it looked like when a couple of our members, and this is the beauty of trading in a team, a couple of our members posted, hey, HDY is getting close. It did exactly what we want. When we're looking for a bounce play, these are 5-minute candles here, we're hoping that it can stay in a narrow range in the early going, and then we look to buy a break of the early range later. So, you know, these are 5-minute candles, you know, so probably for almost the first hour, HDY in a very tight range, and then it started to creep up, and that's when a couple members posted the reminder, hey, watch HDY here. It looked like this. Let's take that candle out of it when they posted it. So I gave me time to put out the trigger and stop via an announcement feature, HDY 225 with a worst case stop 220. Look what happens. 225, right there's our trigger. Stop a nickel below, and over the next 30 minutes or so, all the way up to 240. Actually went higher than that. 243. So that's almost 20 cents on a $2 stock. That doesn't seem like much. It's almost 10%. And a lot of members made a nice trade in that one today. I'll go over some others in no particular order here. Well, I'll talk about DDNN because that was on the list, but we had some really nice trades today I want to show you. DDNN, remember, another bounce play. We talked about the daily. Big breakout here, and at the time, last night, it had 3 orderly days back down. Now today you can see another day down. It broke its early high, but it did it in the first 30 minutes. We don't take this, okay? But what happened was it sold off and now comes back up near the high. Now this time, later in the day, if this can break its early high, could have gotten some nice momentum. It started flagging here, and so I did make a call basically trying to get in early on a potential break of this high, okay? So my idea was, whoops, see this little flag pattern here? My idea was if it can get over this little flag, 1442, right about there, with a 1430 stop, thinking that 1442 could get it above this little flag and take out the high of the day. Look what happens. 1442 right there, and the very next candle it's up to 1453. Anytime we're up a dime or more, we usually try to sell some just to pay for the trade, let the rest work if it's going to, and look what happens. Another 5 minutes, it couldn't get through the high of the day, and then back down to the entry. And I told everybody over the microphone, I said, you know, you can. Somebody said, are we still going to stay in this? And I said, you know, you didn't take out the high of the day. We've got some off the table, and you've got a new catalyst here, okay? If later today it gets over 1453, you'd almost guaranteed it's going to take out the high of the day, and you're going to get the big push. So why take the full stop out on the rest? Why not just kill this and revisit it if it gets to 1454, right? That's your big breakout. So hopefully it saves some members money because then it trailed down and never did take out the high. So the theory or the thesis was right in buying that, and it gave us a dime move pretty quickly. But you don't hang out in those if you don't get the high of day break you're looking for. ARO was on our wasn't on our list, but we added it in the morning because of this gap down. I love to see this, guys, and plus this was in a base on the daily. I'd love to see a gap down. Here's yesterday's close. Okay, gap down and an engulfing candle, and really straight up for the first 15 minutes. This landed itself on our list because of this action, this little flag pattern. Thanks to Ian, one of our members from the chat room. He posted a reminder, hey, ARO is meeting our parameters. And thanks to Ian, because, you know, I'm looking at a lot of things in the morning, I was able to bring up ARO and then call it for the room. I said, nice job, Ian, nice reminder. 1702 was the trigger idea right there, which you can see right after that it went all the way up over 1730 and ended up over 1740. And the stop was about a dime below, and you can see after the 1702 it never even looked back at the stop. So great teamwork in there, and a great one by Ian. Love the reminders. Let's see what else. CCJ, I can show you. I called this one. Wasn't on our list, but I'll show you why I called it and why I liked it. It gapped up and then just sold off. Little bounce here and sold off again. Okay, so this is what it looked like when I started stalking it. That's a big push down, and the volume was increasing. And I looked at the daily, and you can see it's been in a range for quite a while. And whoops, let's get a different drawing tool here. And in that range, on that sell-off I just showed you, it was coming right down to support, right to the bottom of this range. Rather than think short, when something's fallen that far, okay, I'm thinking long. So this is what it looked like using a method I teach. I called this at 2303. Get the drawing tool going again. Call it right. I'm going to use an arrow here. I call it right about there, and a worst case stop at the low of the day, which was 9 cents below. And again, it doesn't look like much, but from 2303 over the next 30 to 40 minutes or hour, it went to 2337. Again, money in our pocket, easy money. You know, it never came close to stop. Now at the end of the day, it rolled over. It doesn't matter. We'd already paid ourselves. What else did we have today? NE. You see the same pattern here. We had a gap down, and in the first 5 minutes, but then almost straight up for the first 30 minutes. This landed it on our watch list. I liked the little consolidation here. A very strong stock early, called NE for the room. The trigger idea, the NE trigger idea. 37.99. Worst case stop 23 cents below, so a little bit wider, but that's okay. 37.99 right there. Stop probably down here somewhere. And from 37.99, really over the next 30 minutes to 38.70 something. And at the end of the day, closed very strong, 38.94. So almost a dollar move there on 23 cents risk. And another successful trade idea there. A couple bottom feeding plays to talk about. PAY. You know, I love bottom feeding. If you've watched any of our videos, PAY, grinding down, then went into this push. This is and the increased volume. See that push there? That had my attention. Love the bounce that pushed back down. Finally called it long right there. If it breaks this little candle, my long idea, and I was actually projecting the chart live for everybody while I was giving the trigger and stop to make it a little easier. 45.47 long right here where my mouse arrow is there. Worst case stop 9 cents below from 45.47 to 45.82. Very nice move there in a short period of time at the end of the day. Nice little late day payday. Also FE, another bottom feeding pick of mine. I know these weren't on our list, but these are stocks we find excuse me, as the day unfolds. NE grinding lower, and then goes into this potential final push look that we look for. I called FE over this little narrow candle here, 42.24, stop 42.19, literally a nickel risk on a $42 stock, and it triggered 42.24, and look at that close, 42.65. Very, very nice move there, and never really looked back after it got going on a nickel risk. Picked the bottom clean on that one as well. CCJ I already talked about. TLM, one of our members, R. Brown, who is just a dead solid bottom feeder himself, and I mean that in a good way. It doesn't sound like a nice compliment calling someone a bottom feeder. R. Brown pointed out TLM on this sell-off and this increasing volume early in the morning, and I passed this along to the room. I said, R. Brown pointing out TLM, 12.01 would be the trigger, low of day stop 11.94. And you know, it's not a huge mover, but it ended up closing at 12.30, and really from the 12.01 went up to 12.17 pretty quickly. So still money in your pocket. Hard to lose on something like that. HDY, I believe I already talked about. NE, hopefully I talked about. Looks like that's probably it. So I will wish everybody a good weekend, had a great day, and I can't say enough about the teamwork in the chat room. A lot of these calls I would not have found if it wasn't for members posting, looking for the ideas and posting the reminders. So great teamwork. If any of the members are watching, great teamwork as always. And we hope you have a great weekend. We'll put out another video Monday night from the trades we take in our live chat room on Monday. All right, talk to you later.